So you have to step away from that and be the better person, because number one, you ain't gonna re-educate them. You see what I'm saying? You could say, you know, well, that was rude and offensive, and walk off. But there's no sense in holding a conversation with them because they've already made up their mind. That'd be just like talking to this wall. That wall has no opinion but its own.
I'm just concerned because I don't know how that helps the party necessarily, because this is coming from committee members of those central, of the Democratic Central Committee. So I'm not sure how that type of approach
We get them out.
Us to, I mean, that's my question.
We show up and we vote them out. We get other people to run that represent us the best way, that, you know, a better way, and we elect them and replace them. It does take time. It does take time. But
That's what I was hoping to hear.
yeah. And I think I'm sorry.
Going back,
I'm not on the board.
I think that would be an instance where we're talking about a situation, one person in any group, whether you're talking about a meeting, or when you're in a classroom, or you're in a restaurant, one person doesn't define an entire group. And I like to think that, you know, I've been a Democrat for as long as I was old enough to know what a Democrat was. And I'm a Democrat because of values. And no one in my family was a Democrat. I mean, I don't know where it came from, but boy, was my family upset about it. But I choose to be a Democrat because I believe in what these four people have said today, and what I'm pretty sure everyone in this room believes. So, like she just said, that one person shouldn't ruin it for all of us.
That's called, and yes. I'm going to say this, that's called being involved.
I want to say something.
You know what I'm saying? It's called getting down in the trenches and doing the work. Does that make sense? You can't just show, like MLK. The MLK March here, we have 1,000 to 2,000 people that walk across that Martin Luther King Bridge every January. But I see them once a year as they walk across that bridge every January. But you have to be involved and be committed to the fight to enact a change. So, like she said, if someone is insulting or what have you, then that is when you work with work within that organization and enact a change or vote them out or whatever somebody said.
I'm going to let Yolanda speak, and then we're getting close to needing to.
Only because you mentioned that it has happened within the Democratic Party. And I think, you know, we're not only Democrats, we're also individuals, and they carry with us, you know, whatever we were raised with or whatever. And also, many times we join the Democratic Party because it is all inclusive and for different reasons, you know. And so within the Democratic Party, of course, we support union members and the working class and so forth. Like my husband, he belongs to a union, electrical union, because he's a lineman. And of course, most of them are Democrats because the unions and so forth. But there's so much racism there. Most of them are white and you know, and so even though they're Democrat, I mean, there's diversity within a very diverse party. And so they're going to bring with them whatever they're going to bring, because we are part of this because of different reasons, okay? So even though Latinos are, you know, very diverse, I already said, we can be white, black, or whatever, but still, that diversity and there are some anti-immigrant people within the immigrant community.
Part of being diverse is we all have different viewpoints, which
right.
makes us
So it's to expect something differently, celebrate something differently because we are, you know, the inclusive party or whatever.
Well, I'm gonna direct this to you real quick, if that's okay. You, in order to do the work and to be in the battle, you have to be a little thicker skinned, okay? You have to be, because, and I'm not saying you have to be the N word or the boy word or whatever. Do you see what I'm saying? But you have to be a little thicker skinned in order to survive in the civil rights movement. You have to be. And that's what we're talking about. If you know your history, think about the teenagers and the college kids that sat on the Woolworth's lunch counter and got spit on back in the day. And that is where civil rights and equality come from, is our youth. Our youth have got to bring our nation upwards. But you've got to be a little thicker skinned about it, because if you don't, then you just slam the door shut. Does that make any sense?
No,
I
because
was
I'm
let me just tell you this, to go with what
We're
you
going to
said.
have a conversation anyway.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay, I would recommend that we recreate this meeting at the next Central Committee meeting and let you speak.
Yes. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you.
And since we have the chair of the Central Committee here today, are you listening?
I am. If we can elect her on April 20th, woo!
Yes. Yes. Yes.
I'd like, hello? Yes.
Yeah.
where are we?
We're all talking at once.
Okay.
I'd like to add something onto this young man's conversation, is that since the Women's March, and well, since Trump got elected, I've pretty much been to everything, right, Vicki? And a number of times, white males my age have either come up to me and started talking about that woman's boobs, or snuck their arm around my waist. Men I don't know, in the Democratic Party. And I just like that, we need to start nicely calling people on their behavior. Nicely. Because just like they're insulting this young man right here, you don't just walk up to some woman you don't know and start talking about the woman down the line's breasts. Or, hey,
You know, one of the things that I think I want to refer in just a moment to Corey. She's got her hand up back here. You know what we're bringing up is issues of mutual respect for one another. And until I get it in my heart to recognize that you are important and your values are important as mine are, if there's differences there, it's a matter of saying, let's have a little conversation about this. If I rise up and punch you in the face because I don't like you, you're probably going to drag me out the door. But I think that we're learning that when they go low, we go high. How about that? And what do we call it, thick skin? It's about appreciating the value of the life of the other person. And I had to say to somebody last night, you know, when I look into your eyes and I see you, I see the face of God. Whatever you want to call God, that's your decision. But you represent that, and if I can't honor you where you are or where you aren't, then I can't be authentic myself. And when we rise up as Democrats and we show the world our love, our compassion, and our understanding, this is the foundation that all of this falls away. If it doesn't come back to being loving and kind, we can't, we've got the barriers. It's all about coming back to the basic principles.
Holly has been waiting.
Oh, okay.
Very patiently.
No, I know we're running out of time, so I just wanted to get this in. It's a little bit of a change of the discussion, which has been a great discussion. But when it comes to the nuts and bolts of organizing ourselves, too often diversity in the progressive community seems to be a synonym for disorganization. There have been half a dozen groups that have sprung up since the election, in addition to the groups we already have, and I think there's been a big sense of frustration that we've been stepping on each other's events, competing for fundraising, etc. So I know some of you in this room know, and maybe others don't, but there has been an umbrella group established. It's called the Ozarks Values Coalition, and I encourage you to go on the web, go to their website. Right now there are about half a dozen groups that they have a master calendar, about a half a dozen groups. So you can go on there and you can see who's doing what when. and your organization could go in there and sign up and put your group on there. And the more groups do that, the better, so we all know what each other's doing. And maybe if we're having different events where we're asking for different demonstrations here, this or that, we can coordinate with each other and show up with twice as many people as opposed to three different groups coming up with a dozen people.
Great.
So just Ozarks Value Coalition, write that down with the money.
Thank you very much. Corey.
I definitely agree that one person should not be able to speak for an entire group or organization. But taking it a step further, I think that when someone does offend, or when someone does something that really pushes back and can push back a whole group of people, that it's very clear that we don't stand for that. Because it's very clear that there is no question. Because the support should be there, especially when we're in a place where we are fighting hard to bring more people of color, bring people from all walks of life, and just anybody, trying to bring people back to the Democratic Party and trying to encourage new people to come in. What am I advocating for? Am I advocating to bring them into a place where this is okay because the people that can stop it are not? You know, we don't want that. I want to be comfortable bringing people to a place where I know they're going to be taken care of. I love the Democratic Party, but I don't love all the things that we're doing. But that's going to be in anything. But what changes it is when the support is there. So the people that can make the change support those that are saying, hey, somebody's stepping on my foot. And so if nobody does anything about it and the person just continues to step on the person's foot, then it turns into, oh, they're just whining. No, they're not whining, you're stepping on their foot. Right. So I think that's the next step. So, and I'm not saying I haven't been a part of all of that to know if that has happened or not, but what I'm saying is we want to be able to feel comfortable and bring more people in and feel like we are included in the conversation, and not only in the conversation, in places of power, in places of support, in the background, in the front. So with that being the case, it should be made very, very clear, and I just hope to see that that's what's happening.
And join the Progressive Caucus.
Yes.
Join the Progressive Caucus.
Yay.
I want to thank